For a lot of women, their wedding day is very important. It is the day that they have long been waiting for and have been dreaming about since they were young girls. It is also a special occasion in a woman's life that she wants to share with her loved ones as well as the loved ones of her husband who will now be her family. But what happens when a woman's wedding is threatened to be ruined by the very family of the man she loves the most? Kelly was so happy to spend the rest of her life with her new husband and his family, until she was even given an ultimatum: have the wedding of her dreams or have her soon-to-be husband's entire family boycott the wedding. It was an instant connection for Kelly Barker and Colin Lewis. When they met, it was like magic. Everything fell into place, and Kelly knew that Colin was the man for her. He was everything she ever dreamed of in a man: kind, honest, considerate, and hardworking. However, with all of these good qualities, Colin had a fatal flaw that Kelly was blind to. But not for long. Just after 2 months of a whirlwind romance, Colin proposed to Kelly and she said yes. They could not wait to tie the knot. However, there was one thing Kelly didn't consider before agreeing to be Colin's wife: his family, particularly his evil mother. Kelly had never imagined that she would not get along with her mother-in-law. If she had, she probably would have prepared better or done something to avoid the situation entirely. Although Kelly had met her future mother-in-law several times, they were not given much chance to bond with one another. In fact, Kelly tried, but it seemed as if her future mother-in-law did not like her. She was always aloof around Kelly, which made their interactions awkward. Kelly had a bad feeling about this, but she set aside her worries for she loved Colin very much. Colin's mother made everything feel like a competition. Nothing anyone else did was perfect for her or her son. Kelly couldn't get her to warm up to her. Because of this, she did not include her future mother-in-law in the wedding preparations. She did not invite her to her wedding dress shopping, but she felt guilty for not doing so. So as a way to bond and feel included, she sent her a text message with the picture of the dress she chose. This was a decision that would change the course of things. Kelly would soon wish she hadn't sent that message. Kelly chose a beautiful flowy dress with an embroidered corset detail that accentuated her small waist. She bought the dress from a boutique that she had been eyeing for a long time, and it meant a lot to her. She sent the photo of the dress to her future mother-in-law with excitement. The response she expected was a positive one. Instead, she got something unexpected. Her future mother-in-law went straight into hysterics. Kelly was confused and embarrassed. She stared at the texts in disbelief. She could not believe that her future mother-in-law would act this aggressively over a dress. She demanded Kelly find a different dress to wear at her own wedding and made it clear that she did not approve of the one Kelly had chosen for a reason she would not specify. With this, Kelly wrote back asking why, to which she got, "Do what I say and do not question my instructions. I will be your mother-in-law. I know best. Can't you see how inappropriate that dress looks?" Feeling more confused than ever, Kelly decided to stick to the dress. She replied, "I am sorry, but I like this dress and I am wearing it." No one would tell her what to wear at her own wedding, especially if they don't even have a valid reason for doing so. Kelly was going to fight back. Kelly's mother-in-law grew up getting her way. She grew up in a rich family with people following her every whim. She was very judgmental and always cared about keeping up with appearances. She was both surprised and annoyed with Kelly's response. It was one of the few times that someone went against her will. With this, she was furious. Soon all hell would break loose. Weeks went by and Kelly thought that the issue was already resolved with her firm decision. Unknown to her, something more sinister was brewing in the background without her knowledge. She was at home one afternoon when she got a call from her father-in-law with an ultimatum. Change that dress now or you can forget about the wedding because no one will come. To say she was shocked is an understatement. At this point, Kelly was frantic. She did not know what to do. What Colin's family was asking for was unreasonable. Kelly turned to him, expecting him to make his parents see sense. To her surprise, he supported his mother. This was a part of Colin she had never seen before, and she wasn't sure she liked it. This caused tension to build up between the couple. Even though Kelly wanted to stay true to her decision and damn the consequences, she didn't want this incident to get between her and her future husband. The whole wedding was at stake, and she knows that it would hurt Colin if his entire family is not there at his wedding. So even though she wanted so badly to stand her ground, she conceded. She thought all was fine now, but never imagined this was just the beginning. Kelly conceded and chose a different dress to wear at her wedding. She felt relieved that her in-laws would be coming to her wedding. When they arrived, everyone was playing nice. But somehow, something felt wrong. She kept waiting for the other shoe to drop. Immediately, her mother-in-law arrived at the party. Kelly realized the reason her sixth sense kept tingling. The woman came prepared for war. Kelly was in utter shock when she saw what her mother-in-law was wearing. Her mother-in-law had opted to wear her original wedding dress in a different color. She looked proud in it and it showed on her face. Now, Kelly was furious. What she had done was personal. Now Kelly knew the true reason why her mother-in-law did not allow her to wear her original wedding dress. She bought the same dress, but in a different color. The selfish woman could not allow her to have this one day and had to upstage her. They even threatened to ruin the wedding, just because of a dress. Kelly was so upset. Kelly could not handle it anymore. She was so furious that she walked up to her mother-in-law with her face red. She felt hot and knew she was out of control but didn't care. She could not hold it in. She confronted her and was yelling. And so the crowd began to form. Colin felt ashamed of himself for defending his mother from her childish behavior. Now that the truth was out, there is no excuse for her actions. He acknowledged how disrespectful her actions were, but that didn't help the situation, and now his bride was upset. Tears welled in Kelly's eyes, but she tried to suppress them. She would not let this day be ruined even more. She stepped away and tried to ignore her mother-in-law for the rest of the day. Nonetheless, no matter how hard she tried to just simply get over what happened, she knew she had to do something. After dinner, Kelly could not handle it anymore, so she pulled Colin aside and told him what she felt. For the first time since the fiasco started, Colin publicly backed his wife, and he knows his mother was very wrong and had some atonement to do. What the couple did next caught everyone by surprise. The couple decided that Colin's mom had to leave the ceremony before she ruined it even more. The two approached Colin's mom and asked her to leave since dinner was over. They asked her in the most polite manner, but she did not respond the same way. Instead, she was once again in hysteria and caused a scene. After the chaos, Colin's mother eventually left and took most of her relatives with her. Colin was devastated that his family had to leave, but did not have a choice. The couple went on to enjoy the rest of their wedding and marriage. Colin's mom remained quiet and relegated to the background. 6 months later, when she thought that everything was peaceful, that was when the devil decided to strike back. It was the 40th anniversary of Kelly's parents. They planned to have family members at the celebration and to have a lot of food as well as dancing. They sent out invitations digitally and spread out the news of the party verbally. Kelly formulated plans for the party in her head, of which she wanted to create a short video tribute to her parents. They had such big plans for the day. Suddenly, Colin appeared in the kitchen. He looked bothered. Colin's mom had heard about the party and had called for an invitation. She was furious that Colin's side of the family had been left out of preparations. She thinks it was rude of Kelly's family not to invite her. Kelly was shocked by this news, and she could not believe what she just heard. She knew that there would be drama. The two talked about it and reluctantly, they decided to meet halfway. The compromise was that only Colin's mom could come, and no one else from that side of the family would be invited. Kelly's parents told Colin that they would not tolerate any nonsense that could occur. So when the big day was finally there, they celebrated in a recreation center decorated in a Hawaiian theme. When Colin's mom arrived, Kelly was infuriated but not surprised by what she saw. It was going to be a long day. She had worn the same dress that she wore to her son's wedding, but that was not all that she had done. Even though the dress code for the party was casual, Colin's mother arrived looking like she was about to attend an awards show. She had her makeup and hair done and wearing extravagant jewelry, so naturally she stood out from the crowd. All attention was directed her way, and she knew it. It showed on her face with a smirk on her lips. She only had one thing on her mind: to wreak havoc. Colin was apologetic for his mother's behavior. Kelly's parents were disappointed, but they decided to stay calm and greeted the other guests. Colin's mother went to the table in front. She sat at Kelly's seat. She was asked to relocate to a different place, but she insisted on what she wanted. But this was not the end of it all. Even with the festivities and the heartwarming activities, Colin's mother was still in her usual mood. She rolled her eyes and sneered at every opportunity. She even whispered rude things to those seated near her place. Tempers were getting riled up, and feathers were being ruffled. She was boasting about the anniversary parties that she had, and she was telling everyone that Kelly's parents' anniversary celebration was tacky for having a Hawaiian theme. She was insulting everything about the party. Kelly's clan found her words rude, which made them furious. But it was Kelly's father who finally took a stand against her. He went straight to her. He politely asked her to leave. Kelly's mother-in-law stood up and opened her mouth to say something. But before she could, Colin already interrupted her. He said, "Mom, you should go. You are not wanted here, and you are being rude." The response of the family was unthinkable. Some of Kelly's relatives shouted in agreement with Colin's statement, while others simply applauded his mother's departure. As she left, the mother-in-law texted Colin furious messages. She even informed his side of the family of what happened, to which they also bombarded him with angry texts. Instead of feeling bad about it, he simply turned his phone off and exclaimed while looking at his in-laws, "At least I know that I have parents who have my back." They hugged and spent the rest of the day without worry. They had fun and agreed that Colin's mom would never be invited to anything again, no matter how big or small the event.